Yo, what's going on? It's Murdoch here, and I figured I would share some of my info on how to make you a better player after 10,000 hours of playing Apex Legends. So, this is about 25 advanced Apex tips for the Diamonds, Masters, and Pred players of Apex Legends Ranked. Let's jump right into it. So, for fighting, we got tip number one. Every fight has a win condition. Know what the win condition is before you fight. Does a team have control of high ground? You know you need to either get that team off of high ground or you need to get onto the high ground somehow to win that fight. Know the win condition before the fight starts, and that way you know what to do. Tip number two is fight for angles, not for damage. It doesn't matter how much damage you're doing unless you're going to get the knock. It's just meaningless. But if you can fight for angles, methodically pick out where you want to be in coordination with your teammates, you guys could create crossfires, and that will guarantee you knocks and even more damage in the future. So fight for angles, not for damage. Tip number three, and this is push advantages and not damage. So a crack isn't automatically a push. Damage is not an advantage. Look for an isolated enemy. Look for a knock. Look for something to capitalize on. Maybe they don't have an ability. Maybe they don't have a way to get out, right? Look for that kind of thing and not just damage. Tip number four, and this is reposition before repeaking. Make enemies reacquire you. Too many people are standing behind a box, getting cracked, and then peeking that same angle on a box. Make the enemy reacquire you, especially if you could do it without being seen. You might be able to get free damage off. Are you standing in a doorway? Go look from the window. You're standing in the window, go look from the doorway, Keep moving around, keep it dynamic. You're giving free damage away to the enemy. Tip number five, this is watch enemy attention. Sometimes the enemy's attention, where they're looking and what they're doing, whether they're in a fight with you or not, will tell you what's going on in places that you might not have angles or access to. So if a team's on height and they start looking behind them, that could be a really good indicator of a team behind them. And you don't know about the third party, but now you do because you're watching the enemy attention. If enemies are just looking at you and your teammates, far right, far left, whatever it is, they might not know about them, and that'll give you a lot of information and tell you your teammate what they could do. Tip number six is don't overcommit to a losing angle. Sometimes abandoning the angle is the correct play. You want it to capitalize off of a lot of damage. Don't get emotional about it. Just give it up, reassess, try to figure it out in the future. Don't overcommit to a losing angle. Tip number seven is create crossfires intentionally. Don't stack teammates on each other. All three of you guys running together, no nade should ever be able to do 200, 300 plus damage to a team because they're all stacked on top of each other. Look for opportunities to create crossfires and in turn getting free damage and knocks. Tip number eight is force enemies to choose. Make them look at multiple threats. And this goes to the last one, which create crossfires. When you're spread out, it's much harder to capitalize on one specific person. If you guys are effectively creating these angles and you're outmaneuvering the team, it's easy to get wrapped. It's easy to get manipulated when you're all stacked on top of each other. Force your enemies to choose where to look, when to look, how they're able to capitalize on you. Tip number nine is hold space after damage. You don't always need a knock to push or get close, but once you get some damage, hold that space, move up periodically. You got 50 damage here, now they got to hit two cells, maybe they're going to hit a bat. That's 5 seconds you got free of crossing without being able to be seen. And it also gives your teammates to move up, gives them time to move up, and that way you're not isolated moving up alone. Tip number 10, stop chasing low HP players. The advantage was that they're low HP, right? In this instance where it's a 3v3 and you do 190 damage to one person, the advantage is that they're so low that they can't fight. So don't chase that player because you might die for that. In most instances, it's not great just chasing a player. A lot of the times, especially in this current meta, they're getting away from you. Just take advantage of the fact that they can't help their teammates in that moment and you have a 3v2. All right, so now we're going to move into positioning tips, and this is tip number 11. Always know your exit route. Before taking space, know how you're going to leave it. You never know where a third party is going to come from, except you should always know how you're going to get away from the current fight you're in. And I'm not talking just one route. Like, you should have 3, 4 backup plans on how you would get out or where you would fall to, just in case a third party showed up or something bad went down. This is tip number 12, and it goes back to tip number 9, but this is take space in layers. Secure one piece of ground before taking more. Take it a bit by bit. Don't try to, bite more than you could chew, because if you feel like you could take a lot of space, but your teammate wasn't allowed to, they might be able to isolate you or your teammate. Take it together, take it methodically, and take it in layers. This is tip 13, and it is height is only good if it creates pressure. Some teams sit on height and do absolutely nothing. A great example of this is Bonsai in Olympus. It doesn't do anything. When you're on height, you can't really take advantage of anything. You have an extremely tall zip line and you have no windows except for one that might not even be able to see people. There's nothing to capitalize on. You're just higher than the rest of the enemy. So make sure that when you go to play for height, it's something that can be capitalized on, like road towers where you control a whole open field. Tip 14 is own choke points before they're valuable. Don't wait until the zone closes or you're forced to go into a choke and then be forced to fight. Go take advantage of the fact that nobody's in that choke or zone hasn't closed and you're not pressured yet. And now you can hold that choke and potentially have the advantage over the teams that have to rotate. Tip 15, rotate early enough to have options. Late rotates, remove choices. A lot of people get so hung up fighting that they're running from zone for the rest of the game. Zone 1, zone 2. When you're deep out of zone 1, just give it up. Just go to zone, get ahead in zone 3. You'll have opportunities to fight. Don't worry, there's KP to be had. Get the optimal position. Placement matters more than KP anyway. Tip 16, think about the next position, not just your current one. Where you are right now is going to change. You're going to have to move. The game is dynamic. It's the nature of a BR. So think about where you're going to have to go next, and that'll help you make decisions in the future. You know, if you're going to put yourself at a disadvantageous spot just because there's a team who isn't in the best situation and you might be able to go get them, that might hurt you in the future. But if you know you have to rotate to that position, now it's an advantage to go fight them, right? It changes the game a bit, thinking about where you need to go next. Tip 17, and this is a huge one for staying alive in ranked early game. Predict the third party before it happens. Think to yourself, who can hear this fight? Who can see this fight? Where's the enemy team going to come from? In the beginning of the game, hit a scan, hit a Valcolt, ride a balloon, see what info you can get. You even know where teams spawn early game, and think about who can see this fight. Are you the third party? You know, are you the fourth party? Whatever it may be, just make sure you're paying attention to who can join that fight once it starts. All right, moving into mechanics and movement, and this is tip 18. Take advantage of free movement tech. The mantle boost, you should be hitting every mantle boost to move around the map faster. A lot of people underestimate how much of an advantage can be created just by moving 3, 4, 5 seconds faster. How many times has it happened that a team got to height just a few seconds before you and now you're at the disadvantage? That little bit, stow your gun, you know, move faster. And stowing your gun moves us right into tip 19. It's holster your gun more often. I'm saying this just because the sheer amount of people I've spectated that just run around with their gun out for no reason. I know it's not applicable to the movement demons out there, but put the gun away. If you're not in a fight, it shouldn't be out. Tip 20, shoulder peek before swinging. And this is more of a rule. Just gather info before committing or before giving an opportunity to the enemy to get damage on you. You want to just jump peek, you know, or jiggle peek or shoulder peek, whatever you want to call it, just do it before swinging. That way you know what you're getting yourself into. Tip 21, and this is just about placements in fights. So tip 21 is going to be abuse head glitches, take advantage of the map geometry. How often have you fought somebody that you're like, wow, that's an insane head glitch? Next time you're in their position to use that, write that down in your mind. Where are they playing? What was hard for you to deal with? And take advantage of that next time around. Tip 22, and this is going to be use cover to reload or heal, not hide. Too many people are waiting for opportunities to fall into their lap. They're waiting, oh, I'll sit in this corner. I'll wait for somebody to run by and I'll get them. No, you want to create the advantage for yourself. You know, don't wait for opportunities to fall in your lap because that's not going to happen nearly as often as the times that you can create an advantage for yourself. Now I got a few high-level concepts for you. Tip 23, plan the siege before you arrive. You should know what role you have on the team, what guns you have, whether you have your tacticals, whether you have your ults, and how you're going to siege a building. Go into custom lobbies, go into private matches, go into public matches, and just go learn how to siege a building. Go take a look at a building. How would I push this if there was an enemy holding here? How would I push this choke? How would I get through bunker? How would I think to yourself those things and figure those out before you actually have to do it in game? You should not be practicing or thinking in game. That takes way too long. So think through those things. Don't wait in game. Tip 24, stop solving problems in real time. And this speaks on tip 23. Think ahead so execution becomes automatic. Do you have your ultimate? Which guns do you have? You know, if there's a team on height and you're a Gibby, you should know if you have your ultimate. You can just immediately ultimate, right? You don't have to think to yourself, oh, do I have a grenade? Do I have this? Do I have that? You just make it happen in real time. And the other team's thinking. That's the advantage you create by thinking ahead. And this is tip 25, maybe the most controversial one. Stop trying not to lose and start trying to win. Winning comes with taking risks, rotating early and pushing a team that you think might be hard to fight, fighting the Apex spreads, the pros that you know are in the lobby. A lot of people are playing not to lose, and because of that, they're getting top 5, sure, but they're not winning consistently. Winning comes from creating advantages and capitalizing on them. Usually, knocks are the result of better positioning, better timing, better angles, better pressure. The amount of people I've played with who are afraid to lose RP and in turn lose RP because of that mentality is astronomical. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that these tips helped you. And if you want me to expand on any of them more, leave that in the comment section below. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. I'm probably live on Twitch right now. Go check me out. Drop a follow there too for some live content. And I'll see you in the next one.